I love when podcasts do that. They beep every company name out.
Because they're like, no, you're not our sponsor. Click. That's where you got to get the big bucks.
Yeah.
Did you get that Sobe shit? Because bleep that out. Till we start getting 15% off fucking lettuce and salad. No.
This time around, we're joined by the gents from Anthesis. Talk a little bit about their past mutual love of NuMetal, why they stuck together as a band for so long, and even a little bit about flavoured condoms. So sit back, sip your poison, and enjoy the ride. I'm your host, Kalen, and this is the Pagan Place Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Old man podcast, talking about groceries and shit. Jesus.
Shit. Yeah, we're refocusing on economics from now on.
Everyone's gonna know we're fucking boring now.
I think most people probably know
at
that.
the age of 30.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. Yeah, we're almost fucking 40 now, actually. So.
Oh, gross.
There you go.
That was everybody's day.
Yeah.
Being angry about groceries and seeing crack deals.
Common day.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to follow them and see what they were talking about.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What can't you do here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to learn.
Even that's hard times right now. Jeez.
Can't afford crack.
Yeah, exactly. Can't even afford lettuce. Fuck.
Trickles down.
Can't even get fucking Neocitrin anymore, so they can't make their cheap shit. Can't make cheap
Can you not
meth.
get Neocitrin?
No. They took it off the shelves because everyone's making meth with it. Go to Shoppers, look for some Neocitrin. Can't find that shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
Old lemon meth.
Now with lemony fresh scents.
Clear your sinuses. I don't even like lettuce anyway.
No, lettuce sucks.
It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah, but
this is
listen to
crunchy.
you. Listen to
Yeah, pizza guy here.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anything I can put in my mouth is at least a 6.
It's feeding me.
It's a low bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to me, when I think of like rating food, I'm not
Explain the reasoning.
I'm not a picky eater,
Clear.
right? Doesn't mean I don't have standards. It just means I'm not a picky eater.
I'm kind of having flashbacks to when we did the Frig Dancer one, like over whatever, Skype or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You might
So
have
I
picked the 3 stupidest people.
I
in
just
the
remember
series
that
you wanted to do
being-
this with.
Ridiculous the whole time.
That was definitely one of the more hilarious episodes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think I told you to go look up food wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look up
I was
what?
like, go learn to
Food
cook.
wishes.
Go look up Chef John.
Chef John.
Did you say food wishes?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's that video that you guys both think his voice is super annoying.
I can't picture him.
Chef John.
Chef
I remember.
John.
Yeah.
Man.
Can't remember
Look
the
it
name.
up.
Yeah.
Hey, audience, look it up.
Yeah, look up
Wishes.
Food Wishes.
Chef John.
If
Check
you
it
want to
out.
be annoying.
Yeah, anyone listening to the last one's gonna be like, oh fuck, he's on Food Wishes again.
Again. They're going to do it again and be like, fuck, again.
So I usually start out with asking what you guys love about music, but not groceries so much. But and crackheads. But
Here we go again, fucking up this poor guy's podcast.
sorry. When you have to edit half hours.
So, what do you like about music? Crackheads.
Fuck yeah. So what draws you guys to music? I'll give you a serious question here.
Oh, Jesus.
Or more serious.
Man, good luck with serious questions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard.
Oh no, it's been
All right, well,
yeah, it's been so long.
how
It's
long,
hard to know.
like, what ages were you guys at when you started to really realize that music is the thing you want to do?
I think for me, I was really young. Like my dad played in a pipe band, played snare drum in a pipe band. So that's like when I was a kid, that's I just wanted to play in the pipe band. My dad kind of thing.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. Well,
Now you're like his dad.
Don't
Yeah.
look
You're
at
like,
me. Here, I'll
wanna
let's
play
do some
music
role
with
playing.
you.
Here, I'm your dad playing drums.
Dad?
Say you.
I
Dad,
remember going to a tavern when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 7 and watching my
What?
uncle. Yeah, with my dad. and watching my uncle play in
Smashing
his band
Schooners.
there, and having deep fried pepperoni for the first time. It was fucking amazing.
Nice double whammy.
Yeah, you got to get Brothers Pepperoni in Halifax though. Shout out. Anyway, and I remember being like, "That's cool." And then my uncle gave me a shitty distortion pedal. I don't even know what brand it was, but my mom bought me a Samick guitar for Christmas, like maybe the year after that. And I was like, I got the distortion pedal, and I didn't know what it was, and didn't have anything to plug into it. And I'm like, what do we do with this? And then he was like, oh, it's a pedal for a guitar. And I'm like, I don't have a guitar.
He's like, oh, you fucking loser.
Yeah, he's like, you don't have a guitar? And I was like, Mom, can I have a guitar for Christmas? Anyway, so that's how that started for me. I got a pedal and didn't know what to do with it. And then I wanted to play music.
I guess I have to get a guitar.
Yeah.
Forced.
I think for me, I remember always enjoying like listening to music when I was really young. And I like really, I don't know, I kind of latched onto it. And I think I even noticed that I did kind of more than even my friends and stuff did. So I kind of realized pretty early that I really liked it. But as far as playing, like I remember an uncle and an older cousin that both played guitar. And I remember just being like amazed by that. So I think it was a lot of that, like just being really young and seeing them play and just being like, whoa.
Yeah, because it is like amazing.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I remember my cousin playing like Green Day songs and I was just like,
holy fuck.
whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
you can play that?
Yeah. So that was probably the first thing I was actually playing. And I remember my first guitar was like a little classical acoustic that my grandmother gave me. And I don't even know if it had like a brand on it or anything, but I remember playing it and literally the bridge ripped right off the guitar while I was playing it, right off the body. And it was like, oh. So then it was to the point where it's like, okay, you know, Mom and Dad, I think I need an actual guitar here.
Yeah,
that was kind of the
me
beginning.
too. My first one was like a little baby-sized. I don't even know what it was. But
Yeah.
Same thing happened. The bridge. ripped
Same
right
brand,
out
I
of it.
bet.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever was popular that year at
Yeah.
Sellers or
Zellers,
Whatever.
yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Whatever was in the
Kmart,
wish
whatever.
book that year.
Yeah. The wish book. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
That,
good
They always had like a drum set
Yeah,
and like a
really.
shitty little like amp that was like this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny.
better than no amp for your distortion.
I don't even know what to do with it.
Just clicking it.
Yeah. Oh, sick tone.
I don't even know what tone was.
Yeah.
Well, turns
you
out
hear
that,
it.
that pedal's probably worth like $900.
I lost it. I don't even know where it went.
Maybe it was a bad monkey.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, really.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Definitely, like when you're saying, like just knowing or realizing at a young age, like, oh, I'm way more into this than a lot of kids are. Like I remember being like, looking back now, it's like, it's probably really fucking annoying, but always wanted to like put on music. Oh, check out this or check out that.
Yeah.
Right? And it would just be
Oh,
dumb
yeah.
shit that like, you know, my parents got from Columbia House, but like bringing it over to people's houses and like
Yeah.
looking back, like they weren't really into it at all. But I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we got to listen to this, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
In
Yeah, it
that
was
same
the same
vein, like finding people, like when you first got your instrument, like yeah, you play your fucking songs or play along with whatever, like at home. But then it's like, oh well, this is kind of like no fun. So then trying to find somebody who like wants to play or doesn't just have a guitar, they have something else or whatever.
Yeah.
I ended up switching and getting a bass because everyone had a guitar and nobody else had anything else. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just get a bass then. And then I started playing this shitty little slammer bass that I got from Jay's Music Shop,
Jay's,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it's weird to a lot of people, like, you know, they think they're into music or whatever, and then, you know, it's just not as serious as your want or whatever it is
Yeah.
to do. And especially around here, it's like, you know, a small pool to begin with.
Yeah.
And then the people that are already playing with each other, like, don't play the same type of music or don't want to be, like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like hard
Yeah.
to get into even. if you're just young and trying to figure it out. So
yeah, you kind of forget sometimes that like for a lot of people, music is just something that makes them feel good. They put on throughout the day and don't think much about, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
like that's absolutely what music is to a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But you kind of forget like not everyone's a fucking idiot about it like we are, right? Like
right, yeah.
I found it funny like when I started because it was like for probably the first at least couple years, I didn't even think of playing with other people, which now looking back seems super weird.
I didn't really either.
Because I didn't. I didn't think of
playing songs at my house. Like,
I didn't think of playing with anyone else. I didn't think of like. I remember one of my friends that we used to just like play a little bit of guitar together here and there. We only knew like 4 riffs or something.
Yeah.
And him being like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to get a bigger amp."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Why?" Because I just didn't.
Yeah.
It was like, why? Like we're sitting in your living room playing it super quiet, like playing Marilyn Manson.
I was about to say, how many of them were Korn riffs?
Yeah.
I don't think there was any Korn at that point.
Wow.
But yeah, Korn hit hard there for a bit.
Yeah.
Had the old 6-string tuned down like 6 steps.
That first album, it really slapped back in the day.
Yeah, man, that thing front to back.
Dude,
to put that album on and play it front to back with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can still listen to that in Life is Peachy every now and then and be like, fuck yeah, this rules.
Yeah.
Life is Peachy was hard to
is.
play along with because there's so many weird effects and stuff
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on that it was like, I don't even know what's
how do you even make
happening.
that noise? Yeah.
The production changed a whole lot too. It's like they're just kind of dropping stuff on top of
Yeah, exactly.
layering it, layering
Yeah.
it. Not like their first album was.
Yeah.
They were
Pretty
used to
raw.
playing in one of their basements, and then
Yeah, exactly.
But there's some, I find the first albums, I like it, but there's some like, there's more cringier stuff on the first album. Like Chutes and Ladders.
yeah, oh yeah.
And then the F word song that we probably shouldn't say. Like there's, like there's
I'm not an F
blind.
word.
Yeah, blind. There's,
I'm not
there's
an F
cringy.
word.
Fake.
Yeah, I'm not a fake. I'm not a phony.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I love how they talked about, like, in, I can't remember which biography it was, but like they were all doing meth but didn't tell one another, so they were all doing meth behind each other's back.
Yeah, secretly.
Like buying it from the same person.
Yeah, I don't want the guys to know.
All high on
Yeah, they're all tweaked out.
Yeah.
Everyone just thinks it's normal because everyone's high on meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you get to scatting over a heavy song without doing that?
very good
I think there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, is he okay? Maybe I'm not okay.
What was the...
Wait.
I'm definitely not okay.
I remember you saying you used to put on the Life is Peachy tape on the bus. And what song would you get to the bus driver who was like, all right, it's enough, man, I'm done.
Life is Peachy would go in. This is the first time I've ever heard Life is Peachy too, so it
really?
blew my mind.
Oh, shit.
Starting at the first with Twist that has no words.
Yeah, exactly.
And
No, it says,
well, it says
Twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's that middle section of Chi where it goes quiet, and then it's just like the screams.
Oh,
over
so
and
he
over.
didn't even get that far.
No, and then you just press eject and hand it back
Whoa.
to them.
That's
time.
enough.
Yeah.
It's always the screaming. Everyone always says
Yeah.
it's always the screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're going to have lots of bleeps in this
Yeah, this
podcast.
is just turned into a NuMetal podcast.
Holy fuck. We could make one.
We were basically all NuMetal kids that eventually found death metal.
Yeah.
Well, you found out NuMetal was really just like a flash in the pan and actually kind of shitty comparatively.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, it's
Exactly.
just whatever the record label slapped together.
Yeah,
And like,
yep.
kids will love this shit. And they were
And we
right.
did.
Yeah.
They were right.
Yeah.
They usually are to a point, and then
Yeah.
you
It's-
grow up.
Weird though, because like I know like you listened to like metal before that too. Like so did
Yeah,
I.
it was a
like,
mixture. For
it's
sure.
weird to like that I gravitated so strongly to that when I like I don't know, I listened to Sepultura and Black Sabbath and all that shit before, like, and then I don't know what it was, that combo of rap and metal really really got me good.
It seemed hard then.
It did seem hard.
Yeah.
It really did. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess I did like rap too, and then I was like, well, rap and rap metal, that's got to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It is weird to think about, though.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I was like,
Yeah.
why the fuck did I like that?
I think a big part of mine was a lot of my close friends were super into it. And even when I listened to like heavier stuff, they didn't like it. So it was like,
Yeah, same.
all right,
You
I'll
gotta
listen
find
to Sepultura and Cannibal Corpse on my own. 'Cause
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
of my friends like it.
Yeah.
But we all kind of like this, so there was just more of that.
That's
And I mean, it
probably
was
true.
more accessible. Like, if anyone's parents were around and stuff, like they didn't want to hear Cannibal Corpse.
No, exactly.
Not that they wanted to hear Limp Bizkit either, but
No.
It was more intelligible, at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
but it was new too. It was like a new
Yeah.
sound. Like when Incubus, was it Science?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
their first new metal-y one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like such a departure from anything I'd heard at that point.
Oh,
I was
for
like,
sure.
this is
Man,
fucking-
you know what? I kind of forgot about them even.
Yeah.
Like,
Those
but
first
yeah,
couple
it's true.
Incubus albums,
Yeah.
I can still... Honestly, up to Light Grenades. Light Grenades is a good album, too. After that, I don't really care, but...
yeah, they kind of lost me, and it's
They changed a lot. Like,
oh man,
every album
Nice,
was
really.
really different.
Yeah.
Really, like
yeah,
Make Yourself. That one got a little more radio.
that's like the
friendly.
radio rock
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
and then they
exactly.
kind of progressively got more I
like
don't know.
radio-y.
Yeah.
It almost went more indie too. With
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Crow Left
Yeah.
to the Murder. Was
Yeah.
like,
That,
Whoa!
Like, that album's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, but we were
That was a
talking
sweet album.
like a couple
Once they
of
got
months
Roots
ago.
basis there, they
how it
kind
was-
of went that way.
Yeah. How it was almost like they were like PRS, Mesa, and then like just switched to like all Fender shit, and that's
Yeah, it
when they
was like-
started being more indie.
this is different.
Ah, interesting.
And I mean, Mike, like, I mean, the albums are so vastly different now.
Oh yeah,
Even
and
just
then like
talking
the
about
pre stuff was all like
Yeah.
jam band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
funky,
funk.
just get
It's
high.
crazy.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Deftones is still like my favorite band, and like these two guys, it's pretty similar. Like I think they were one
Oh,
of those
yeah.
bands from back in the day that really stuck still. So maybe they are just total new metal and lame, but because I love them so much, I just convinced myself that they're cool.
But
But
they've changed too.
Again,
Like, they
yeah.
haven't-
yeah,
You know, every album with them is also different.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I would agree. for
it's,
sure.
you know, it's tweaked. Where so many of those new metal bands try to cling on to that thing that made them famous, and then
Yeah,
kind of can't do that. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
where's
it's hard to
Stuff
write
out,
the
right.
same song.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only
You know?
play those bouncy riffs for so long.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Korn, like, I mean, I don't personally think this, but like Korn had such a big following. I don't know what they're like now, but I mean, even when they came out with the albums after, like, you know, Issues and stuff, like they were still clinging to that same thing. And
Yeah.
clearly, like when you watch them, it's working. Like they're,
Yeah.
you know, their crowds
Yeah.
are super into it. And I don't know if it's just like the nostalgia of listening to the
Yeah.
old stuff and just loving what they do because they're Korn sort of thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It worked for them, but like clearly nobody else. Everybody else.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine, I think, came out like right around the same time. Didn't
Yeah.
it? And that's another one that's a
Yeah.
weird. That's like literal hip hop, like actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mixed with, you know, whatever you want to call
yeah,
that.
like how
The
do I
old
scratch
debate,
with a guitar?
heavy rock.
The
I
old
guess.
debate is Rage a new metal band.
I personally would say no, which is weird because Zach like almost always raps. But
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
to me, it's like rap with rock music over it rather than hip hop beats. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Bunch of
And like
anchor
looking back,
guitars.
like I guess Meshuggah technically was was doing that, but like
In
I didn't know
94 were they,
anything.
though?
I think
I don't
so.
know.
On 98 for that,
Yeah. Detroit Racing
Yeah.
Crew.
95.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
I would have thought like 2000. That's my favorite album by them.
Yeah.
Destroy
Detroit
Racing
Racing
Crew.
Crew was
Yeah.
fucking good.
I always think Chaosphere came first, but like
Oh, yeah?
a while ago I looked it up.
I would have thought the same, actually.
Yeah, yeah, something about Chaosphere seems like it
It
would be
seems a little ahead
earlier.
of its time.
Yeah.
Plus the drumming on that album just fucking blows
Dude,
my mind.
guy's a
Just-
maniac.
First time I heard it, I was like, I can't remember the name of the track, but there's one that starts out with bass, and then the guitar kicks in, and the two don't jive at all. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yeah,
And then the drums kick in, and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember the name of the song, but
Yeah.
just rocked my fucking world when I heard it. I was like, what the fuck? Where
Yeah.
did this come from?
yeah.
yeah. The first song off Nothing's like that. It's
Talk
like,
about inventive.
what the like
holy
Stegna or
shit.
whatever it's called.
You're currently listening to the Pagan Place podcast. If you like what you hear, you can find us at anchor.fm/The Pagan Place, or stream each new episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Where did you guys all come together?
Started with you two.
Well, no. Yes?
Kinda?
Yeah, sort of, I guess, yeah.
Well, you guys knew each other like way before.
In 1999.
Was it? No.
No.
I was going to say, it was like 2002 or 3 or something.
So we knew each other a little bit in high school.
Okay.
And played a little bit of music together in high school. Then this band kind of started. It started just me on my own. I just recorded a couple songs for fun. Demo style, program drums, guitar. That was it.
Okay.
And then we were just hanging out one day. He was like, "Hey, want me to play bass on these?" I said, "Okay, sure."
How did that... I actually don't remember. So we went to college together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember like...
But I think this was before that. Somehow.
Was it before
Yeah,
that?
Because you guys went to high school together too. Right?
Yeah, I know, but...
But this was after that. I was writing. I only started writing this stuff when I was in college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was
yeah.
the very first demos were in 2004.
So I remember you showing me Decapitated for the first time in the hallway in NBCC. I was like, holy shit balls. And then I think you either like showed me those songs and then there was nothing else on it, just you and program drums. So I was like, well, I could do bass. And then we went to your mom's place and recorded it.
Yeah.
And then with him, Andrew, I had jammed with him like a one-off time with another guy that I went to high school with, and at the time I was just doing vocals and we were playing
on
like
Dave Kidd's deck.
super death metal and
super death metal.
Super death metal.
Not regular death metal.
Definitely not. Well, definitely with Gordon definitely wasn't regular death metal. It wasn't in time or even coherent. So
it's called avant-garde.
Yeah. Nice. So we jammed
metal.
together, and we were gonna cover a song by Deicide called Bible Basher, and he was like, "Oh, I might have to." At the time, might have to read the lyrics of that. And then I'm pretty sure at Dave Kidd's place, you disappeared to like listen to it or read it.
No, it wasn't
or
that. It was after.
But I remember you at the time saying, I don't think I can play that. Was it just because of the title, maybe?
Yeah.
I remember being at Dave's place and you being like, I don't think I can do that, guy.
Oh, yeah. I remember saying, like, I'll read the... Like, okay, so...
We don't have to get into your shit. That's fine.
Yeah. But, well, yeah. So, anyway, I was like... There was a period when I was in high school where I got, like, super religious. It's also mental illness attached to that. I have OCD, and religion was, like, a thing that I really hooked on for a little while. And that was kind of a period of time when I was coming out of that. So yeah, Bible Basher was like a little...
Probably too much.
Yeah, a little much. I was still like, do I believe in God? Is it a thing? And then, anyway.
So then, like, that kind of just fizzled out, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, we just didn't end up playing more together. So then, like, literally probably 3 years later, I'm jamming with him. And I'm like, hey... I went and saw this guy at a talent show one time because I went to KV High to watch you guys play, and I was like, he's a really good drummer. And I remember jamming with him one time. He just like wasn't really into it or whatever. But I was like, we're doing our own shit. We're not doing any covers or anything. And obviously, it wasn't like super anti-God or anything. Yeah. So I was like, hey, maybe he'd be interested. So I got in contact with him, and he was like, yeah, let's jam. And then the crazy shit is, these guys jammed without me because I happened to either be working or busy or whatever. And it was the first time they ever met. Yeah. And he brought the songs that we had, like 5 songs or whatever, and went to jam with him at his parents' place. And that was pretty much it. And then his reaction, if you want to tell what you thought when you jammed with him.
Yeah, so I was completely godless by then. So that was like the best thing I ever did for my mental health was like start drinking beer at 16 and just like ditching God. And then I felt great. But yeah, I was like, because I was used to, the people I played with, it was like a lot more straightforward. So they brought these things and like 5/4, like what the hell's that? Or like 7/8, what's that? Like just couldn't really, like it was really hard for me to conceptualize. Like, how does that work? Right? And I was like, fuck, they think I suck or they think I can't do this, so they're not really interested. And they were like, man, he's getting like frustrated. He's going to quit. He's not going to want to do this, right? So it was like...
Yeah. Scott was literally telling me like, I don't know if we're going to jam again. Like, I don't know how that... And I was like, well, how did it go? And he's like, well, I mean, like for the first jam, it went pretty good. Like, that's what he was saying. But then Andrew was obviously just like, maybe overwhelmed, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was like the first time you're kind of...
Well, exactly, right? And it was like in front of new people and like not like just totally foreign concept.
Totally.
Right? So for me, it was just like I felt so stupid on the spot trying to just like count to 7 and play along with this riff, and it was just not being able to get it was super frustrating. Right?
We only started jamming in 2006 because we couldn't find a drummer.
No.
And then you thought of him from whenever that was.
Yeah.
So there's a big gap.
It was literally like 3 years because if there was 2 years in between those, it was probably a year before that we like were in college together, and I knew about him probably a year before that even. So it was probably like 4 years really.
Yeah.
So I remember like there was a big gap there. So even me just kind of relearning the songs to play them with you. It was like kind of a learning thing for everyone.
And I really like the
thing
songs
of taking
too.
it slow.
Yeah,
it was just kind of a new thing for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like the songs, so I wanted to play with them.
Yeah.
Right. So it just took a while, but yeah. But it was funny too. Like we were talking about Cold Chamber earlier, and like as soon as I saw him, as soon as he pulled up in my parents' driveway, that's that dude that used to be on the bus with a Cold Chamber shirt because he had like that bright yellow Cold Chamber. I think that's one of the first things I said to you. I was like, "Did you used to have a yellow Cold Chamber shirt?"
Yeah, that's funny.
That is weird. Yeah. It's true though.
Yeah. So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And literally...
I didn't quit. You didn't kick me out. And eventually I learned how to count to 7.
Like, you moved to Nova Scotia for what, 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah.
You lived in Moncton for a couple
2
years.
Yeah.
Like, even with the moving and living far away from each other, we've made it work over those times. Like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, we'll just take it slow until you're back. Like,
we've recorded or just played a random show here and there or whatever, and just done whatever we could, basically.
Yeah.
And like obviously, when I was gone, these guys started Frig Dancer, and when he was gone, we did another little side project too. So, you know, we just kind of made it work over the time, and it's been, it's really crazy to think about, honestly. 'Cause like there's, and not even like a band member change, like let alone break up at all. Like we haven't stopped. Ever. Like maybe a little hiatus here and there, but never fully stopped playing or recording, one of the two.
Yeah. At this point, it's like if any of us left or didn't want to play anymore, we would just, the other two would probably just do something different, right? We would just start something different, new name, like who cares? At this point, it's the 3 of us, like who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it wouldn't be like, oh, Anthesis is looking for a new drummer.
No.
It'd be like,
which is funny because when I posted on Facebook I was moving to Nova Scotia, there were like 3 people that hit them up immediately, like, "Oh, you guys looking for a drummer? Like, I heard Andrew's moving."
Yeah, and we were like, "No, we're not doing that."
Yeah, I was like, "Cool, thanks, guys."
Yeah, like you hadn't even moved.
No, I hadn't even moved yet.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that actually.
Yeah, there's 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe there were more.
Yeah, there's at least 2. I think there's a 3rd one. But.
It's kind of funny, like even when we go to jam and stuff. Like obviously we're all older and busier and stuff now, so schedules are kind of crazy. But, like, we almost have to force ourselves to jam when we get together because it's not like, I think a lot of bands, it's people who probably aren't really good friends. So it's like music is what they do together and that maybe that's it.
Right. Yeah.
We're like, they'll come over, we jam at my house, so they'll come over and, like, we'll just sit in my kitchen and it's like, man, it's been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything yet. Like, we have to work on something, right? Because we just want to hang out.
Right.
So I think that's what's probably kept it alive through all the moves and busyness.
Yeah, we're actually friends.
You just hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like these, like these 2 guys were up with me when I got married. Like it's, these are 2 of my best friends.
Yeah.
So it's
same.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, even through all that, and it's been like however many years, whoever wants to do math, and like all this stuff, And still, when I write something new and show them, I still have weird nerves.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm like,
sure, I get it.
What if they don't like it? And I'm like, well, if they don't like it, they can write their own song.
And the craziest thing, like, and that you saying that is that pretty much every time you show us something new, it's new. Like, it's something different. Like, if you listen to our first things versus like every other release that we've done, it's like very different.
Yeah, it's evolved for sure.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Was like, has there been a shift? I mean, I know there has because I've listened to it.
Right.
But like, is there just a shift in the process, or is it just that you learn more tricks so you keep adding them to your toolbox kind of thing? Or
I don't know if it's either of those things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's so much a really conscious decision. Like, some of it has been.
Yeah.
Where it was like, and almost more conscious of like, I don't want to do this. Not so much like, I want to sound like this.
Yeah.
But more like, I don't want to do this. Like, we almost got, our early stuff was, we almost got caught up in like the whole tech death thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed like bands we were playing with was a lot of that. And it was a lot of almost like, not that it was said, but it's almost like competition of who could be crazy.
I remember.
And it was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
exactly. For me, it was hearing Brain Drill.
Right. That was your threshold.
That was my
and you were
threshold.
Like, no.
I was like, I don't know if you ever heard of the band Brain Drill, but they were like, they came around. I can't remember when they started. But again, it's not that they're bad, but they're just one of those over the top techie death metal bands. And people were hyping them up, and I listened to it, and I was just immediately like, nope, like, I'm over this. Like, not that I don't like all the other bands like that I still listen to and still love, but it was just like, no, man, Origin already still exists. Like, I already, like Necrophagist, Decapitated, like, all that stuff. It's all like, I just kind of got over it because everything was just so techie. And I think we were all getting to around the same point, and we started to lean in a little more to like, like, hey, we're three, guys that like, high school, we grew up on like a lot of NuMetal, right? So like that low end, those big riffs, like that was something that we all loved.
Groove's always been
so I think we
strong.
Yeah, so I think that's why we started really leaning into like the volume and the low end, is because like that's the stuff that like, when that hits, it's like, oh fuck yeah,
Yeah, we definitely like pivoted hard after that first full length for sure.
Yeah, and I think there'll always be that technical aspect because we all still enjoy that kind of thing, but it was just starting to get like a lot of those bands at the time, it was just starting to be like a parody of itself.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was kind of like if no one knew our music and we gave them that first album, they'd be like, oh, this probably came out in like 2008. Right. So
I do remember around maybe 2010ish. With a lot of like, Dillinger Escape Plan was really, everything became technical for a while, and it was like the End was touring around, and a lot of those bands and even heavier bands started adding way more tech stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff. And I actually hadn't even thought of it until you started talking about it.
I mean, we played like several shows with the End guys around here. Got to know them really well, and we were probably one of the only ones really out here that fit that sort of style because we played similar. And then eventually they even switched and went more like traditional, easier listening.
Yeah.
So but I mean, we kind of did the same thing, not in the way that they did, but similar.
And our stuff is, I can still see the similarities in it, maybe because I write it. So I see every aspect of it. But there's still like tons of odd time signatures. And, very dissonant. It's odd that we have like a really melodic riff. It's mostly discordant stuff. Like half the time I joke about like anyone who's randomly hearing this probably just thinks that my guitar is out of tune. So there's still all those aspects of it. Just kind of, I think it's come out different now. It's almost like, in my mind, it's almost like we took what we were doing, but then like if we listen to a bunch of noise rock, it's almost like it kind of blended with that, like the simplicity aspect of that. It's weird. I mean, obviously my perspective's really odd of it, creating it, but I always wonder what other people's perspective is.
For me, coming into like, do you know Justin LeBoutier? I feel like he was a really good buddy of mine. I've known him since we were kids. And he's always been the guy who's kind of exposed me to a lot of the heavier shit that I listen to. Now my kid, because he's old enough that he hears a lot of cool shit that I don't, because I'm old.
But we feel that too.
But I think I came across you guys via him, and it was always pretty fresh.
We've never fit in.
It was very different than
for sure.
everything else.
Yeah.
Like, even now, I can't really think of anybody who
Me either, man.
No. In any way?
I don't mean that in a negative way.
I was just about to say.
No, not
we've never fit in.
No.
We've never fit in.
No.
And I think that's why we've attached so much to bands that have come through from like Montreal and Ontario and stuff. Like you mentioned, The End. Our buddies, we played a show with Tugnut, who was super weird. They've broken up now, and it's Grabert.
Yeah.
And those guys, but since that show, it was like, these guys are playing weird, like they're way weirder than us, just genre-wise. We've always attached to those bands that have come through, the great Sabatini. It's like, this is what we fit with.
Yeah.
I've actually grown used to and really enjoy going to shows that are like that.
I love those.
I love going to shows where the bands, they fit together, but they don't fit together.
Yeah.
So even like some of the shows that I put together with my buddy Frank, sometimes some of the shows we pointedly do that. Like, these two guys will never get billed together. Let's put them together.
Yeah.
And that's more for me than the audience.
But hey,
but I mean, it's still.
But it's good though, because then people that come to see the band that they're familiar with, right? Exactly. Yeah. And like that's why when we try to do splits and stuff like fairly often because of that exact reason. Like you might those people listening to that band might never listen to something that we do.
I never would have came across Grabert if it wasn't for you guys. So.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So like
Sabatini wouldn't have.
To me, the exposure is great for other bands as well. Like even if we don't really fit, like maybe the people that like to go see us will stay for them or see them first or whatever, and be like, hey, I like that too.
Yeah.
Like, and that's good for everyone.
And that's kind of the.
And they might leave. Yeah,
like really,
legit.
Like the first time we played Moncton, like there was a dude playing acoustic.
Holy.
That played first.
That was also the only show we ever got a beer bottle thrown at us.
Yeah, and it was like it was a super mix, and it was like,
I wonder if that person realized the irony of huffing a beer bottle at a metal show.
But it was great. Well, at first they were screaming, "You suck" after every song.
Yeah.
And then the beer bottle started. Yeah. It was like, okay, Moncton's a little rough here.
Yeah, because it started with Phil Flowers.
Yeah,
and he was playing like Bob Dylan songs on an acoustic guitar, and then Something Delicious, who I think they just put something out again.
Yeah, they did.
And then it was us. And it was the same night, I think Ozzy was playing Moncton that night.
So
like Iron Giant was playing
an after party.
The after party, and we were playing the Paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah, people didn't like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mixed lineups are great, though.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, they should match better than that, though.
Yeah.
Like,
But you know what? People stayed.
Yeah, it's true.
There were people that liked it.
People are open.
Yeah.
To it, like, and they're not just like, oh, this is just noise. Like, whatever, just leave them.
Yeah.
You're not going to get through to those people anyway.
People too. Like, there are people that just want to be out and they'll pay like $5 cover just to hear music.
Yeah,
and doesn't happen anymore. But back in the day, like there'd be every Friday, Saturday, there's a $5, $7 show somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go.
And I just want to go have some beers and hear some music, and I'll go. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to look them up. I don't care. I just want music. And there's those people, and then there's there were $3 shows. Fucking Elwoods, man. That was
there were shows.
Nobody got paid.
I was playing those shows, so I know that no one got paid.
That's where we met.
As a consumer at the time of music, that was the shit.
And even before that, Studio 112.
Yeah, like how many weird shows did like Tension Point come on?
Dude, like yeah. I mean, we played here way too much, so a lot.
But I feel like you guys played too in that prime time of just like you were saying, just like always shows in the same genre.
I have a Tension Point CD. I think there was...
Busted out. No.
Let's do it. There's
oh my god, you should play Tension Point. That would be amazing.
Is it a piece of paper printed on the front with black ink? Is it that one?
And it was one of the guys in the band. It wasn't you, so I don't know. I can picture the guy's face, but I didn't know anything.
They have long hair or no?
Long hair, yeah.
Yeah, Randy. He was from around here.
He was at the mall.
Yeah, that sounds right. Because he lived out east. So
walking through, and I was at Music Stop or wherever the fuck music store was at the mall at the time. It's like, hey man, do you like metal? I'm like, yeah. Like,
such a random. Hey man, do you like metal?
That's gotta be right.
Here you go. Give this a listen. It's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Hey man, do you like metal? You want to buy some meth?
Basically, like, holy shit.
Hey man.
No, we can't do this here. We gotta go down here.
Do you want some acai berries?
Jeez. If you sell this CD and tell your friends to sell
you
the
look
CD.
You look like you like pyramids.
Check this out.
You like spaceships?
Welcome back to the Pagan Place. Here, let me top up that poison for you. No, you keep the tip. All we need is a little like and share. That'll do just fine. There you go. Have a good day.
Oh, what's your writing process?
Him.
It's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's been mostly like, early it was, I'd usually have like a couple riff ideas. At the time, we had a lot more time to just like all three of us be in the same room and hash stuff out. So there was a lot more of that then. Now it's more of like, I'll send them stuff as I come up with it, but it usually becomes a 90% song before we actually like work it out together.
Right.
And that's just because of life.
Yeah.
But that's, most of it's like that. And, you know, once in a while we'll have band practice and practice our set or do whatever. And we'll come up with something just on the spot too, just jamming. And then usually do a quick phone recording and then turn it into something later. So it's kind of a combination of that.
We haven't done that in a while. And like we just kind of started doing it now again to record a couple of songs. And it's kind of nice because we haven't done this process like this in a while. And, you know, we had discussions before, like specifically Andrew. Scott would come up with basically a song, you know, and like he's got everything at his studio to do. So he would put like, you know, a really simplistic drum pattern underneath. But then, you know, you start to listen to that and that's how you hear the song. So then it's hard for Andrew to like not play those things because that's how you hear it, right? So then like more recently on the full length that's going to be coming out, we just did like, you know, we would record a riff and then either he would record drums like quickly or it would just be the riff to like a metronome or something to try to keep it more as what he's doing rather than something that we've already been hearing for weeks. And then he has to try to not hear that and come up with something else. You know what I mean?
I started to get a little cantankerous about the programmed drums. And like, not that I don't understand, like absolutely useful for writing a demo and everything. And it is good. It's useful because like, you hear the song and you hear the context of it, right? I really enjoy the writing process as well, right? So when you're getting all that and then you're thinking like, that's what's in your head, it's hard for you to be creative. It's hard for you to kind of participate in the writing process, I guess, as much. So, and I think the other thing too is like, this guy's a riff machine and the song machine. And he started writing some stuff and I was like, well, can we like pump the brakes a little bit? Because like, you know, I'd like to be involved too, because before you know it, he'll have like 7 songs written, and they're all great, and you don't want to touch them, right?
Yeah.
So and then you feel like, okay, cool, I'm just like playing songs. Yeah. You know, I didn't have a lot. I didn't have a big hand in writing them, right? So,
and like for me personally, like it doesn't happen that way. I mean, for the most part, I'm going with what the guitar plays, but like, you know, certain parts that I play that are a little bit different or what have you. But it doesn't affect me as much because it's mostly guitar, and then like before it was like a drum machine or whatever, or like programmed drums. But like for me personally, like I would rather hear what he has to come up with because I know that it's going to be different than whatever he comes up with, and I like his drumming. Right. So I want to hear how he adds to the riffs that he has.
Tie them together.
Yeah, and it always like then it sounds like us. Right. Like I found sometimes like the programmed drums just didn't sound like us, because that's not what he would play over top of it, right? And then he's trying to keep up with some of the things that are programmed there that, like, you know, it's not his wheelhouse or like something he's just like has a different idea for, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I much prefer it the way we're kind of trending forward now, for sure. Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, natural. I totally get where you come from too. We've talked about this a million times, but like, you know, when you're writing riffs and writing a song, you hear the drums in your head too, right? And you hear how they should be. So it's hard to just like be like, hey, here's a riff, and I could come up with something that's totally got a left field, and it doesn't hit like he was you know what I mean? Like it hits differently. So it's a push and pull. And it's not that I never want programmed drums either, right? It's I don't mind that either. But.
And then in that vein though too, like then like really how I see it is like, okay, he comes up with this riff. And he hears what the drum should be like, but then you play the drums that you feel like it should be. And then maybe we have to tweak the original riff to fit the way that you play it. You know what I mean? Like, and that sounds more like us because now two of the three of us have come up with something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Either way, I want to make it crystal clear. We're talking about demos.
Yeah.
Like actual recording, it's always me playing. It's none of our recordings have a drum machine on them.
Yeah.
I just want to make that crystal clear.
Yeah.
Because that's not always obvious with everybody.
Process.
Or so he thinks.
And if I write a riff where I'm like, okay, the drums like
need to be
this, I just let you know.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, this has to be a riff like this.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay.
Well, like Path, like, you know, you wrote the drums like to that riff and it was perfect. So it was like, well, why would I even, you know, me messing with this is just me letting my, you know, like what I feel like I need or my own ego getting in the way of what sounds good. Right. So it's
right.
I think we've come a long way about like coming up with stuff that just sounds good and fits. Yeah. And like even like going down to like mixing and stuff, like the way you think about the mix, the way it sounds, like getting an overall sound. Like we've gotten better at that every time we put something out, you know? So, and I think that just the same thing with the writing process too. What fits best, what's going to sound good in like between my bass and him, or like even now we're doing double bass things. So we got to think about, you know, the sonic overlap of that. Yeah. And now, I mean, the two bass songs that we play live, I mean, they're just crushing. And like I don't think we may have been able to do that before. Yeah. Now, like the way that we think about things and work out songs, it fits better. And then we just have a better handle on how we want to sound.
Yeah. Right. Just improved at everything. Like arrangement, just the whole crafting of the song. Like, you know, I know for those two bass songs, if it's like, if we're both playing bass, just thinking of the arrangement of the song, like, okay, this still we have to make sense of this. Because it could end up a mess if you didn't consider what's happening. Yeah. And I find, not just with the bass stuff, the double bass stuff, but with everything in general, I think we've just improved at, you know, writing, arrangement. Yeah. Everything's just improved. Yeah. And I think it shows.
For sure.
Even our live shows, like I say now, I mean, we've been playing for literally like 17 years. And now, like, you know, the last few shows we played, we're just kind of getting back into playing shows like more regularly. And it's probably the best sets we've played ever. And we've jammed the least, we've written the least. And you know what I mean? And it's just like, to me, is the best like set we have. Yeah. And just because of those things that we just talked about. Yeah. And like growing and like arranging the songs and how they sound and what to do and what sounds good live and all those things. Yeah, it's definitely been, I mean, obviously, like, you know, we've been playing together for almost 2 decades.
Getting to that same zone as well. Yeah. We're like, you know, that kind of comes and goes, but I think we're at a point now where we're all like really feeling what we're doing too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you think there's noticeable differences on what's going to be coming out as opposed to previous?
Yeah.
Like noticeable for you or noticeable to me? Like,
I think it'll be a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it'll always be noticeable to us. Even if it was like the same, I think we think it was different.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a bit of both with this one.
Yeah.
There's elements of the last album for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's almost like ratcheted up more.
Yeah, it's almost like we just pushed it further. You know, big, dissonant riffs. A little more experimentation on this one. There's a couple songs that have both of us playing bass with no guitar.
There's
a couple songs.
Yeah, some that have
two
drum kits.
Two full drum kits.
Yeah.
So we just kind of played around with some different ideas too.
Yeah.
Like nothing on this album is about COVID, but I mean, COVID definitely shaped how this album sounds because we had a handful of songs written that we were like, I think we'll probably always kind of go back and forth. Like we'll get bored with doing something, so we'll get more techie, and then like we'll get bored with doing the techie stuff again, and we'll go like to more sludgy stuff again. So we were kind of in a swing of like, man, it's been a while since we've like written overly technical, annoying music, so let's try to do that again. And then COVID hit, and it was like, fuck, we can't learn these songs like in isolation and record them.
Right.
To get an album together. It takes us forever anyway. So part of this album too, there was a conscious effort to be like, let's make these songs a little more simple and a little easier to learn because we don't know when we're going to be able to jam. We don't know when we're in lockdown. We don't know when we can record, but we want to get something out. So it definitely shaped how everything sounds for sure.
Even deciding that for it to be simpler, it's now we've been recording them for 2 years.
Exactly right. So just think if we
didn't make it any quicker.
Oh, I think it did. I think if we would, I think we'd still be recording.
Yeah, and for some context, like we recorded a shitload of stuff.
Yeah, there's way too much.
Like what is there? 18 songs or something like that?
I don't know.
A bunch of them are covers too. But
so we have like a full album. We have like 2 or 3 songs that are going to be not on the album. We're just not sure like whether they're going to be for splits or what have you. And then there's 6 cover songs.
7.
That we've been. Is there 7?
Mm-hmm.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I thought it was 2 each.
2 each, and then the other Shallow North Dakota cover.
Oh fuck, that one too,
yeah,
right? Yeah. So I mean, a ton of music. Not only like it took time to record all those things, obviously, but then to mix and master and do all those things that he needs to do. I mean, it's an overwhelming amount of music all at once.
It's almost 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
And like a normal like metal album is like 25 to 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just like we're spending all this time on one full length.
Yeah.
If we just did the full length songs, we'd be done and it'd probably be out by now, honestly.
Yeah. Right.
In other words, we're never going to do this much at the same time ever again.
Yeah, it was a lot. Especially a lot for this guy because he does all the recording, all the mixing, all the mastering.
Yeah.
Like that's all him. So it's a lot of work for this guy over here.
I hate it by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really sucks. Like, honestly.
But you know what? I hate it by the end of it, but then I take
I
take a good break from it.
Yeah.
And then I listen to it and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you're subjecting yourself to it constantly until it's done.
Yeah.
Which is literally 3-4 times as much as
you
guys.
I should live stream to you guys every time I'm working on it, just so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You should.
So
everybody hates it equally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably like the best and worst part about doing our own stuff all the time is like, it's great because it's super comfortable. It's obviously like little to zero money, obviously. And all of us know what we're all like. There's no pressure. There's no timeline.
Yeah.
There's no, you know what I mean? So all of those things are amazingly positive for us to get our stuff out. But then it's a guy in our band, like doing all of the things. So like, obviously you're in it. You're not hearing like a third party person listen to it and give you ideas of like what should sound like what, or where that sits in the mix, or give you different ideas about like how it should sound, yada, yada. Right. And then on top of all that, he has to like listen to the shit like 1,000 times or more, tweak everything, and then might get to a final mix, send it to us, and we're like, could you do this and that?
That's why I really try not to.
And like, we try not to, but at the same time, you don't want to have a final product that you're not happy with.
Sometimes there's like this one thing that if you could fix that would be amazing because I'm going to hear that forever.
Yeah,
and it's going to drive me crazy. Exactly.
You don't want to stay in anger on your hands.
Exactly. But also trusting him enough to know, like,
he knows our sound the best out of anyone, obviously.
Yeah.
He's in our band.
Right, yeah.
So, all of that shit that I just mentioned, though, would happen, aside from like a third party person being like, give you ideas or what have you. would all happen with somebody else that we'd have to pay money for and we'd be on the clock with. Yeah. So if someone, say we recorded with somebody else, they did a mix and sent it to us, we would still have to be like, oh, could you do this and do that? And then pay money to them. Right. Whereas like this case, instead of just paying the money and feeling shitty about paying more money for them to fix the mix, we just feel guilt. I'm getting him to fix the mix. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's all the same. It just is. It's just the way we've done it. Literally every single time we put something out. So yeah, it's a lot for him to take because he has to record it all. Well, he writes it all, gives it to us, records it all himself, then records us individually, and then mixes and then masters and then puts it out. So, like, that's a shitload of responsibility work.
So I'm quitting the band tonight. Yeah. Just from reflecting.
So we're done.
This conversation spurred...
This is our breakup pod.
This was my wake-up call.
Yeah. I just laid it all out. He's like, fuck, I do that. I'm charging these motherfuckers after this.
Yeah. Do you guys have any goals in place as a band, or do you just want to keep chugging along making music?
I think for us to set... kind of, bigger, better goals. A lot of that comes with touring more. Yeah. Which isn't really an option for us, just because of all the real life things we have. Yeah. So, I mean, I think we're very realistic about it. We'll play shows we want to play. We say no to a lot of shows. It would be nice to get out a little more. We've only played as far as Montreal. Yeah. So it'd be nice to, get to Ontario, hang with some friends and play shows there that, we get hookups in a lot of places. Yeah. But otherwise it's like, I don't really expect much. I just want to keep making albums I'm happy with, keep creating stuff. I get the most out of that. Like, same. Writing a song and then watching it come together and recording it, like that's like the best. That's where my head is. Yeah.
Yeah. I almost think that's one thing that we kind of lack is like having goals. Like not again, right? I mean, like touring, obviously that's not something any of us can do. Like we all have jobs, like,
and I don't really want to.
No, and I don't want to. No, same, right? So it's kind of one of those things knowing that like, we can't really and don't really want to tour. But I think one thing we don't do well is being like, all right, well, like, because we always talk about it, like, well, we should play Montreal this year. And then we don't. And it's like, we should get out to Montreal or Toronto this year. And then we don't. I think that's one thing. Yeah. And COVID's part of that and just our lives are part of that. But I think that's one thing we could do better is even just set those smaller goals of like, man, like fucking take a long weekend and go to Toronto and back. Like bands do it all the time. I think that's one thing is there's things like that aren't as big of a deal as sometimes you think they are. And you just don't make it happen. Right? Even just little things like that. Yeah. Just to kind of get out there a little more. But other than that, like, I'm pretty happy with what we do. Condom sense.
We're talking about the scent of condoms.
Oh man, remember flavored and scented condoms?
What's your favorite scent of condoms?
Isn't that flavored?
I've never eaten a condom. What's your favorite flavored condom, bud?
I sucked on a cherry one once. Just to see how it would taste. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I was trying them out for my girlfriend at the time. And I was
like, trying it out for her?
Well, yeah, I was like, well, fuck, I was buying the condoms, and I was like, I'm going to buy the flavored ones, just for like, funsies.
What kind of dick smell?
And then I tried the cherry one. And I was like, that's fucking disgusting. So then I bought the ribbed for her pleasure ones.
What did it taste like?
Petroleum. Spermicide. Yum.
Yeah.
This is a good year.
At least it killed all the sperm in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. I like
Shout out to Plan B.
I like a nice garlic flavored condom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Parmesan
Alfredo.
garlic. Yeah.
Alfredo.
Oh,
Alfredo.
yeah.
Freddie Gibbs condoms.
Yeah.
I heard that the Olive Garden was going to start putting out condoms.
Holy fuck.
Nice. Oh fuck yeah.
Olive oil.
They put it over top of a breadstick. They're just like, here you go.
Yeah.
Tour of Italy.
Tour of Italy. Condom, multi-pack. Chicken parmesan. All covered in marinara sauce.
Oh, man.
Oh, sick. Marinara sauce.
Get Amalfi Coast seafoods. Check it out.
Oh, fuck.
Durex
Calamari.
clam chowder.
Jesus.
Durex appetizers.
All because I couldn't say common sentiment.
Yeah, dude, don't fuck up any words around us because this happens.
Yeah. We'll fucking run with that.
This is why we don't have goals, because then it just turns into this.
Yeah.
Why are you pointing at us?
Well, all of us.
This.
Oh, as a group.
Yeah, the royal we. Yeah, sorry for ruining your podcast.
No, that's
So our next merch kind of opportunity is going to be Anthesis condoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you know a condom
flavored
guy.
like Italian food.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
New Italian condoms.
Taste of Italy.
Yeah.
I want to be really disappointed if I don't see that coming out, like even as a joke purchase. You know?
Yeah.
It's like Parmesan cheese.
Fuck.
Condom.
The stinkiest condom in the world.
Oh, fucking gross.
Somebody would use it.
Somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
somebody would use it.
Yeah,
Some
there's
fucking
freaks out
Love
there.
it.
The same people buying panties that were shit in.
Yeah. That's probably already in a vending machine in Japan somewhere.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Parmesan condoms.
Yeah.
The penis flavored fucking energy drink from The Office. You know? The energy drink. Robert California. The energy drink. And he's like, oh, why did they add... I missed the original. And it's like penis flavored energy drink from Japan.
I don't think it's penis flavored.
Yeah.
Reminds me
Is
of
it?
Yeah.
on the league, the 3 penis wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
penis
yeah.
wine. Yeah.
It's like, this is a really good year.
I forgot about that show.
John LaJoy's gold.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just saw your wife's vinegar strokes.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
I was actually looking him up the other day, and I came across he has a new project, or I don't know how new it is now, a couple years old. That's like it's like a throwback to growing up in the 80s and 90s. So all the songs are like,
Oh, okay.
worth
His songs
checking
are
out,
funny.
'cause it's super fucking entertaining.
Yeah, coconut penis. That's what the
The
fucking
Office?
flavor is. Yeah, remember this?
No,
No?
I remember
Yeah.
I remember the scene you're talking about, but I didn't remember it having anything to do with penis or coconut.
They started a company manufacturing energy drinks for Asian homosexuals. The energy drink is originally penis flavored, but is later changed to coconut penis.
Fuck, I don't remember that.
And then Robert California drinks it and he goes, ugh, I miss original.
I remember that. Robert California, that was a good character.
That was a good character. Just keep it funny, man.
One of my favorite lines, and it's so stupid, but I don't know why it catches me so funny every time, is when Aaron's like relatively new as a receptionist, and I think it's like Michael's like, "Oh, do you have any of those those clips? They hold paper together." And she's like, "Oh, staples."
Yeah.
I don't know why,
Paper clips.
but that always catches me so fucking funny.
Yeah,
She's so sincere, like, "Oh, staples."
Yeah, Erin's great. She's the same girl that was like, I'm going to make it so dry for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Like
What?
sandpaper.
That's
No,
Yeah, that's terrible.
my mouth is going to be a desert.
Yeah. And then she does the...
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting ready to smash it.
Yeah.
No, why?
Oh,
Don't
no,
do that to
terrible.
anybody.
Yeah.
What was that website? What was that on? From like a comedy website.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
it was
it?
like
That was
the
also-
blowjob thing. It's like, it's going to make it so dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a sketch comedy thing.
Was it a College Humor thing, maybe?
I think it might have been College Humor.
No. It was, oh my god. Yeah. Jesus. They made like a fake commercial for Red Bull tampons.
Fuck, was it the Power Thirst?
Some e-cards? No.
Oh, Power Thirst. Power Thirst was incredible.
It has like...
What are you doing?
Get my teeth ready.
Oh, yeah.
Teeth ready. Blowjob. Your teeth? Oh, yeah. How much teeth do you like? No teeth?
Teeth?
Oh, shit. Is that Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
I'm gonna make it so dry for you.
No, that's the opposite of what is good.
That's what it is. That's the opposite of what is good. Oh my fuck.
Like a desert.
I will never look at Kimmy Schmidt the same way ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good show, too.
Wait,
I love that.
No, it's not. Is that Kimmy Schmidt?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Unbreakable
Yeah.
Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, right. Ellie...
Kemper.
Ellie
Yeah. Yeah, she makes those...
I adore her.
Fucking ant.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Funny or Die.
Funny or Die.
Funny or Die.
That's
Oh,
what it is.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. All that stuff's from Funny or Die.
Fuck, I used to watch all
That's
that
back
shit.
in like the Homestar Runner days.
Oh my god. Dragon!
Is there anything you guys want to throw out there or mention or?
Well, we have a new album that's almost done.
Yeah.
Everything's recorded. It's like 98% mixed. Just the end stages of all that.
Yeah.
So, not that really means anything for when it'll come out, because then there's the whole playing the game of trying to find people to put it out and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. But we got some covers we recorded that we're actually pretty excited about.
Yeah, we recorded some really cool covers.
Yeah.
So they'll be done like kind of the same time as the album. So we're going to try to find a game plan for all of that. Other than that, trying to finish this album. That's it. There's always like slowly some Ancient Temple stuff going on. Funeral Fog LPs, which is...
Shout out your fucking
Feels like
social medias, man. Come on.
Ancient Temple recordings on everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'll definitely share some links to everything
Yeah, sure.
in the show
Yeah,
notes
nice.
as well. Thank you guys for taking some time to come in.
Hey,
And,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
Really
always happy to
appreciate
talk.
it.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good time.
Sorry for...
I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, we
So
get that
it's
a
like-
lot, and I don't.
You can laugh at us. It's fine.
I think it was more laughing with you.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get to know us more. It's laughing at you. So.
Close my eyes and the world drops down. I lift my lids and it's born again. Arbitrary darkness creeps in until I hear your name. Darkness closes and it's invading my side. My chest been failing upward flight. Smoke's been fully charged, I'm burning out my eyes. Exposing all of my shameful lies. Sullen Snakes wrapped around my wrist, rendering that we can live. With a struggle to be stronger than this place. With such simple skin, simple skin, simple skin, simple skin, simple skin.
End cut.
This is Al Johnson, and you've been listening to the Pagan Place Podcast. Bam!